Miami Music Week is something of itself because everyone here is on a mission to either network, connect, have fun, or all of the above. So it's really one of a kind.
What's up, guys? It is Sunday. I am back from Miami Music Week. I'm recuperating after a 3.5-hour delay. I did not get home until 2:30 this morning. That is why I sound like this. The Miami airport is absolute shit. I have learned for the first and last time. I've never flown into there before because I used to live in Florida, so I never had to. And now I know I will not be flying into Miami ever again. So for the past couple days, I was bouncing around BLNK Canvas events. I cannot say enough good things about BLNK Canvas. If you've seen any news about Miami Music Week and Ultra, you know that it was raining buckets for like 48 hours straight. And BLNK Canvas, they had more than 25 events at like 8 different venues throughout the weekend, and everything ran so smooth. Despite the weather, I feel like I had a completely different experience than what I saw from a lot of people online, because everything was just so great. Everything ran so smooth. It was amazing. So, I went to Miami Music Week with an open mind. This was kind of a last minute trip for me and my first time attending as someone who works in the business and not just a fan. And so I really wanted to see what knowledge I could glean from these DJs and artists, who are attending one of the biggest events in dance music, period. And so I wanted to learn, how they network, how they test out new music, how they make connections, all of the above. And one thing about me, I believe in the law of attraction, and I always find myself in similar places as people I already know, people from Chicago. So I actually stumbled on the Hood Politics Records crew at the Hell Deep pool party on Thursday. And what we talked about is a fucking masterclass in how to make the most out of Miami Music Week, both personally and professionally. So that's what we're going to get into today, because this advice that you're about to hear from the crew is advice you typically have to pay for. I'm not just saying that. I'm being serious. So we're going to talk about how you use an event like Miami Music Week to further your career, and also, what not to do. So without further ado, this is One Day at Miami Music Week with BLNK Canvas and Hood Politics.
The greatest record label in the world, Hood Poly.
Yeah!
That's all mamas. Put it on there right now. Greatest record label ever of all time, Hood Poly.
I'm snapping so much. I'm just really fucking excited to be here. I can't stop snapping. Anyway.
Amazing. Killed it.
So the main reason, if you're an artist or industry, the main reason you come to Miami Music Week is networking, right? It's a week long of events. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a chance to get out of your city and out of your comfort zone. And like anything else, there's a right way to network and a wrong way to network. I got into this with the Hood Politics crew. So first you're going to hear a quick snippet from DJ Susan. He's the label boss at Hood Politics. And then Sherm from Sherm in the Booth. He does A&R for Hood Politics. He has a podcast. I've been on his show. He's been on mine. He's a good friend.
And I always tell everybody who's trying to get booked, who's trying to get signed, people book and sign who they know and who they like. The music, all that shit is just an accessory. Lead with your energy, lead with your positivity, and be a leader.
And it's an art. It's like sales. Like, I've been in the music industry for 10 years. You don't just approach somebody without an offering or a familiarity, or else it's just a cold call. I don't want to make it too salesy, but it is the fact of the matter. So when I go approach someone, I like to have a mutual friend.
Okay, so let's talk about sales. What is the worst possible thing you can do when you're trying to sell someone on something? be unprepared, not have a pitch ready. And just like Sherm says, your pitch has to offer something and not just be an ask. So think back to like when you were a kid and you wanted to sell your mom on sleeping over at a friend's house. You'd tell her who's going to be chaperoning, who's all going to be there. You did your research and you presented it to her. The same principle applies here. So listen to what Chris Diaz, a DJ and producer, also signed to Hood Politics, has to say.
Do your research beforehand, like find out who exactly owns these record labels, who's the A&R, who's like the board members, like find out exactly who you need to talk to and talk to them, grab their email and put it all in one place. Like I have like my notes that I put like everything all in my notes. Every single industry artist, I don't put them on my contact list because I know they're gonna get lost, right? So you have it really organized, and then like now I have a song coming out next week that I literally blasted to so many artists that I knew that I've met in the past that I was like, okay, like this would fit perfect in their arsenal.
Okay, so did you hear that? Do your research, make sure you follow through with whoever you're reaching out to. Just know, this is what everyone else is doing. This is the level you need to be at. If you're not doing this, if you're not prepared, if you're not coming with a game plan and following through, then you're going to be left behind. Now, this next tip from Chris, this is next level. My jaw literally dropped when he told me this.
I'm gonna show you my contact list. Anybody in San Diego, I put a little palm tree next to their name. So I literally like have everybody that I know to hit up for a party.
Chris, that's
like,
so smart.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I'm gonna hit them up. This is where I'm playing. Let's go.
Yeah.
Everyone come together.
I'm not joking when I say this is one of the best tips I've ever heard in my life, and I am going to start using it myself. And you can segment your new connections in so many different ways, right? Like not just by geographical location, but even what style of music they play, what record labels they're on. You're basically creating a CRM, that's a sales term, in your phone with data on the people you want to know and work with. It's fucking genius. Okay, so you're ready to network, and so is everyone else. How are you going to stand out among the crowd? Because these agents and managers that are there, they are getting hit up by everyone and their mothers. And even if you do make a genuine connection, you still might get lost in the shuffle. So you have to find a way to be unique. Check out this story from Sherm about how he was approached last Miami Music Week.
Literally last year, these kids came up to me and they had a wristband that's a USB, and they go, "We know you're Sherm, here's our card, and here's a wristband with our music." And people give me USBs, whatever, ways to give me music. I don't remember that shit, I lose it. It was on my goddamn wrist, and I had it on my wrist the entire Miami Music Week, and I went back to Chicago and I listened to it, had their EPK, it had their resume, it had their great music on there, and I was like, gotta respect that shit. So stand out, be different, and know that it starts now, because tomorrow is a different day and it could happen like that.
So to wrap this up, before going to an event at Miami Music Week, you need to do your research, you need to get yourself organized, you need to find a way to stand out among the crowd, which, by the way, ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT. I'm not kidding. Like, that's a great starting point for some ideas. So find a way to stand out, and most important, aim to make genuine connections. Don't come expecting something to happen for you magically right away. This is the place to plant seeds and to build and grow relationships. So do the work, follow up, and have some patience. Networking is only going to go well if you have the right mindset. The way that you feel inside is the energy you're going to bring to meeting others. And that is why it's so important to have a healthy mindset before, during, and after a massive event at Miami Music Week. DJ Susan, he's the leader of Hood Politics, and if you don't already know what he's about, he encompasses everything that I preach about on this show. Relentless positivity, community over competition, innovative events. He does it all. Here's what he has to say about having a healthy mindset.
If you're trying to get signed by Hood Poly, show up, spread those good vibes, and the most important thing, just be grateful. Be grateful for every moment, every interaction, and get out of your own way, right? I feel like the ego ruins so many amazing experiences and opportunities for people, and that comes from being in your own way and getting in your own head. So get out of your own way, be grateful, show that love, show up, support, have fun, and stand for the shit we stand for. You're immediately getting signed. I'm not even gonna listen to the demo either. I'll just fuck with you like you're getting signed. And that's happened before. And that has 100% happened before. I meet someone, I'm like this, bro, you're the fuck. Signed. Together we rise. I don't believe in competition, and I feel like everyone at the top's collaborating, and it's so beautiful to just have these experiences with each other, and it's experiences that make up life, and that makes us so great. And it's like the more experiences we can have, the more we can support each other, the better this is all gonna be. And I never feel like being the lone soldier in this. I love going together with my crew, and together we rise is my motto. So I love to support the homies. They're so talented and amazing, and everything I do is honestly for us. So the bigger I get, the more opportunities I get, I love to extend that to my homies, and I know it makes them so happy, and that just makes me so happy as well.
Okay, 2 important universal principles I want to highlight here: gratitude and giving. Everyone overlooks how important gratitude is for manifesting new opportunities in your career, because honestly, it's not the sexy part. Everyone wants to focus on the magic of, getting these opportunities, but gratitude is the key ingredient. And, I understand it can be difficult to feel grateful when things aren't popping off in your DJ career, but you know what? That is when it's most important. When I quit my job and I started my entrepreneurship journey, I was making diddly squat. I didn't have a lot of money, but you know what I did have? I had time freedom. I had the ability to make breakfast with my husband. I could take longer walks with my dogs. I could run errands in the middle of the day because I wasn't going to work. And even though I didn't have a lot of money, I just remember thinking, oh my God, I'm so grateful to have these moments for the first time in my adult life. And expressing that gratitude is what led me to build the blossoming business I have now. So you have to be grateful. You have a great set, friends brought your track, you got a nice DM from somebody, relish in those moments. You're not gonna get the headliner gig if you're not grateful for the opening set. You know what I mean? Now, the second principle Susan talks about is giving. The more opportunities he gets, the more he shares with his people. This is the trademark of an abundance mindset. Many people are unfortunately plagued with the opposite, which is a scarcity mindset. And they believe they need to gorilla grip opportunities because if they share, that means less for themselves. And that's just their unhealthy mindsets lying to them. When you have a healthy mindset, when you share, when you feel grateful, you radiate positivity, and that will be evident in how you approach others when you're networking at an event like Miami Music Week. Or I love the way DJ Susan says it.
You get what you give, so show up and get the fuck out of here. Seriously.
So Miami Music Week is over, but it's never too early to start preparing for the next one, especially if you've never been before. Sherm says you can start prepping as early as 6 months ahead.
Start now. Miami Music Week comes every year, and it will come every year no matter what. And it's really an iconic moment in the year for dance music because Ultra is really the first festival of the year, and it's one of the most well-recognized festivals in the world. So if you think about it, you get in front of people now, things can happen so quickly, right? In 3 months, 6 months.
So how can you prepare? Well, first I recommend taking a listen to my episode on branding yourself and taking notes. Having a strong brand, not 1 million followers, but a strong brand, is a powerful tool in getting yourself booked at Miami Music Week events. Now, I caught up with Jenny Voss. She's a singer, songwriter, DJ, and producer with Hood Politics on how she curates her Instagram and her brand.
That's our resume these days, you know, like that's where people go. It's like no one's looking at EPKs anymore. No one's really taking the time to look at your SoundCloud and every little thing. It's just like go to Instagram. Are they playing? Do they have good music coming out? Is it blasted? And are they a brand? Because not a lot of labels, like no one's finding you in your bedroom anymore and signing you. They're like, do you have a following? Do you have your music? Are you consistent? And that's the thing with music is like it's such a business aspect too. And so many of us just have the music part, but that business part is so important and you have to have it all to move forward, you know?
As a producer, Jenny is constantly pumping out tracks, but preparing for Miami Music Week was a little different. Instead of sending DJs the tracks she makes on the regular, she actually made a song specifically for Miami Music Week.
Yeah, I made this song called The Pink Hotel, literally just for Miami, and it's like, martini is a hobby.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, it's fun. So I've been trying to send it out so people can play it, and we played it the other day, and all the boys on the dance floor were going crazy. So I've been like working on tracks for months, and I was like, I need them ready by Miami Music Week so that I can start sending it out. And I even like sent it to people before, like, hey, play this in your set. I made this song just for Miami Music Week, and I'm trying to get it out there.
I love this tip so much. Making a song just for this week is such a unique way to get noticed. It celebrates the culture and the heritage of Miami, and it's easy to slot in for some of those daytime pool party events. It's so smart. Okay, so before we wrap up, I do want to leave you with some other tips I heard on how to prepare for Miami Music Week. And you're going to want to bookmark this video because, like Sherm said, it is never too early to get ready. Okay, number 1, research the type of events that happen during Miami Music Week, and not just the big ones at Factory Town and Space, but the smaller label showcases and the local parties too. Those are where you might have an easier in, especially if you're newer. And they're not going to be super easy to find. You're going to have to do some digging on Instagram, look up hashtags, Miami Music Week Wynwood, Brickell. Just type in various, combinations of, words associated with Miami Music Week, and you are bound to find some flyers. Okay, number 2, define clear goals. You know I'm a huge fan of this. Whether it's meeting certain people, getting a track played, you need to define what success looks like for you. This is going to help you have a clear mind when you walk into Miami Music Week, because trust me, it's going to sweep you off your feet and you need something to help you stay grounded. Number 3, prep your materials. Again, you can use ChatGPT to help you generate ideas. I do it all the time. Figure out how you want to stand out among your peers and really give this some thought. Number 4, be ready with an elevator pitch. This is a concise and compelling way to describe your music, who you are, and your career aspirations. You don't want to fumble this when you randomly run into someone important, because trust me, it does happen. And number 5, I am going to beat this dead horse. You need to focus on building a brand. Don't worry about your number of followers. They are going to come as long as you have a brand that clearly and concisely defines who you are as an artist. I hope you guys found this episode helpful and the tips from the Hood Poly crew as insightful as I did. I was so grateful they took a few minutes to step away from the chaos and the action to chat with me. I am sifting through a bunch of other content from Miami Music Week as we speak, so keep an eye out on Instagram for that, because I have some really fun interviews with artists like Biscuits and Truth and Lies. I'm so excited for you guys to hear them. If you like the show, the best way to support me is to follow and to rate me on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That helps my show rise through the algorithm ranks, and that means I can bring these tips to even more people. It's a huge help for me. I really appreciate all of you who have taken a few minutes to rate the show so far. As always, I hope you guys have a great Thursday, and I'll see you next week.